Mamata Singh ji, I'm going to show visuals of the Bajrang Dal Yatra, including people who seem to have guns and swords with them, wearing saffron. These are videos, of course, of Monu Manesar and Bittu Bajrangi, but the video of the Bajrang Dal Yatra carrying people, having people with weapons and swords is what I want to play to our viewers. And there were, of course, those who were caught throwing stones, and the local Muslim mobs there were also well armed. What we seem to see is that two groups were well armed. Now, surely when these arms are being freely paraded, the police should have intervened. As has been suggested by some senior Haryana leaders, including Dushyant Chautala and Rao Inderjit Singh initially, why were these arms allowed in the first place? So you have stone pelters on one side, some of them with guns as well, and also the other group which is armed. Why was this allowed in the first place, ma'am?
Let me tell you one thing, that when this yatra was organized, there was a meeting with the organizers on 26th of July, and in that particular, as you know, the permission is required to be sought. They applied for the permission. There was a meeting with the district administration, and in that particular meeting, the permission was conditional, and it was categorically stated to them that the yatra has to be peaceful. They can have the slogan is something which we all say, like having a when you are devotee, then Har Har Mahadev, or whatever faith you have. But they were not allowed to have any kind of deadly or armed weapon. Now, whatever footage is coming, we are also examining into it. And
no, because the footage, ma'am, I'm sorry to say, the footage that we have clearly has weapons. The footage that we are showing you now, I'll play that, had weapons. The point is, when you have people traveling on the roads with weapons, when you have another group which is on the mountain top shooting or throwing stones, the first thing the police does is intervene and say, no, stop it now. The police was either overwhelmed, was too weak on the ground. Home guards have suffered more. I mean, somewhere something has gone wrong, Mamata ji. What do you think is, according to you, went wrong?
That's what I am saying, that after everything was undertaking was there, all the arrangements were there, what went wrong and who actually was responsible, if there was any inadequate assessment. This is all is what we are now looking and examining into. As far as the question of having armed and police intervention or police was caught unaware, I would like to say that tank companies, as I stated earlier, deployment of tank companies was keeping in view the size of the yatra, the distance that has to cover, the sensitivity and the past yatra experiences. The deployment was sufficient. Now, to say that there was a limited number of force, of course, that particular point of time, the number of people who went and immediately rushed the moment there was a rioting and stone pelting and the firing started. The police, which was deployed, the point immediately rushed behind the mobs violators, as well as the people who were running back to the temple for shelter. The number might have been small, but they did maintain their forte, and they protected the people who were trapped in the temple. And the force was immediately called, and we all from the neighboring districts, including myself, will be rushed immediately. Though we had lot of obstruction, there was continuous pelting and firing when the force was approaching to the people who were stranded. And during that firing and that arson and pelting, only we lost our two home guard Jawan, and one of my inspectors suffered casualty.
Ma'am, I want to tell our viewers, you are known to be one of the bravest officers in Haryana. So this is not about Mamata Singh, the individual. Let's be very clear about that. This is about the force in general. It's also, some would say, about the political leadership. I want to ask you, therefore, one final question. There are two narratives flowing. One is that the Bajrang Dal was inciting, creating a situation in Nu ahead of this yatra that led to retaliation from the Muslim mob. The other is that there are Muslim groups in Nu who are well armed, who are waiting for an opportunity to strike back against some of those who in the name of Gau Rakshak have been spreading hate and violence in the area. Which is right? Who is responsible according to you? Who threw the first stone? Who is responsible for this violence, ma'am?
Rajdeep ji, I would like to say that yes, there was viral videos and cross videos and reaction to the videos. But as I stated earlier, the local police was constantly monitoring it, and wherever intervention was required, immediately we intervened. Not only we got the videos deleted, but we approached the local peace community people who always stood with us, and there was a proper assurance, and there was a clear dialogue with them, and everything was going on peacefully.
Right.
Now, under what circumstances the situation turned so violent, so volatile? This is something we are already looking into. We are investigating, and irrespective of whichever side is responsible, one thing I can assure you that nobody will be spared, and every will be taken to the task, whether it is this side or that side.
Okay, that's the assurance. Whether Hindu or Muslim, you are telling me, irrespective of religion, whoever is involved will be taken to task. There will be no one spared. Am I correct? Exemplary punishment to anyone involved.
Rajdeep ji, bilkul. Whatever I am saying, I am again reiterating, because whatever has happened, it is not a crime against a particular person. It was a crime against a humanity.
Okay.
And whoever is responsible for such crime, which has led to so inflicting wound to so many people, and is traumatizing so many people, irrespective of the caste, class, religion, reason, they should not go unpunished.
Okay, those are very good words, reassuring words to hear from you, Mamata Singh. Obviously, there will be questions raised of what happened on the ground on that fateful day. I hope those questions can be answered in a transparent manner. But I appreciate you taking the time off in this tough time to join us here on the news today. Thank you very much.